walk off the edge at the top, and then fall all the way down. I don't know what this guy's doing now. So you'll see lizards just walk out the end of that bit there. I forget what it's called exactly. Humidifier. And it'll just fall out right now. I don't know what these guys are doing. This is an annoying location. Also, if you saw buddies run, you know, we can go up the right side. In this case, we don't even need spears. Although in our case, we can pull spears from walls, just because Artie can do that. I always forget they can do that, because often just doesn't matter with all the other tools you have. We can get up there pretty quickly, and I don't even think they saw me. Now we just have the 4 white lizards that can be in our way. Usually when we get here, it's also going to start to rain as well. Where everything's going to start to leave. I'm messing up all the slides today. But the good thing is, it literally doesn't matter. As we explode. Hearing biting here means they're running. But it also means they can bite one another and then fall down on top of us and then kill us. So we do not want to mess with that. Because when they're really scared of the rain and they run directly into you, they're really not going to go out of their way to get you, but when they're really scared like that, they're going to act really, really fast. And you don't want to mess with that, especially in these pipes. That's the scary moment. So listening is good. We also really want to get to this shelter before it gets dark, because then all of the scavengers spawn. Oh goodness, okay, it was only the one, somehow. That guy is just dead up there.
He looked like he had a very, very bad day.
Oh goodness, I didn't even know scavengers could get up there, but I guess they could. Right, so this is the only save in the run that we need to take. We're going to take one more save. But we're just going to be going to pebbles, which means we got to go across the top of the wall. I really like... So one thing you'll notice is that me going through that pipe didn't have any lag that I just went through at the bottom of this room. Now, me saying that probably makes no sense to you. But before downpour, a lot of loading used to be weird, and it used to not think you were going to go up the wall. And so it would lag whenever you go through pipes because it didn't preload the next room. And now it doesn't do that really anywhere on the wall. I really, really like that change. Just small changes in loading means a lot. At least to me. Now, don't need to do all the special stuff that Buddy did. We can just go straight up. I hate this man. We're going to bomb him. Because I can, even though I probably could have rocked him. He doesn't know. He didn't know what was going to happen. It's so unfortunate. Also, for mods that I have on, the only one I have on, and it's one that we allow in speedruns, is the fast roll button. I'm gonna throw those in case there's a guy there. The fast roll button essentially is... Please don't come in here. It's essentially a equivalent to... Makes it so me doing keyboard inputs is equivalent to playing on controller. And controller has the ability to do a certain roll that keyboard can't at all. That being, they can hold a slight diagonal down from horizontal instead of just a hard diagonal 45 degrees downward. And that gets a different roll that you can do in different situations. Where if I just jump down one block right here, and if I hold the space bar, which allows me to input that angle, it will do a roll where normally if I did a normal, or attempted to do a normal roll, it wouldn't give me a roll there. And this is very useful to get speed and getting rolls started in certain places you wouldn't normally be able to. That doesn't make the normal roll obsolete or anything, as there's certain situations where you just can't use one or the other. So you need to be prepared to hold the directions as normal or not. I keep forgetting I can use explosions in 0G. Can't move any faster than this. We kind of hope there's items. Come on, give me something. There we go. And then Pebbles will do his thing. And wherever he gives us the ping, we're all good to go. I forget there's a check there. Alright. Very good run, one way or another. We're going to save in one more place, and this is directly before the Scav King. Now I want you guys to guess. Why would we save directly before the Scav King? Are there any guesses in the chat? Why are you here? Go away. Because I watched the stream. Okay. The basic idea is that the Scav Kim actually isn't hard. He isn't that hard once you know what you're doing. He can still do things and he's still a very hard unit, but he doesn't start with weapons. The problem, more so, is the toll before him. Because it is a massive open area with every single scav in the entirety of Metropolis can just show up in. Not all at once, but you start killing some, more will come. Because they will always try to fill the multiple tolls that are in that room. And so if you start killing them, and you stay in that room, more and more will just keep showing up. So you got to break through really, really quickly and get to the other side. And that is very, very hard to actually accomplish. I should have put this rock in my stomach, but that's fine. For people who know Metropolis, I'm sure they all enjoy just the ambience that it brings, especially with the songs in just a second. Please move out of my way. Oh, for some reason I thought I could go in there, but that's just a scavenger only pipe. I'm going crazy. I'll eat him now. Probably was a bad idea to throw that. It was a bad idea. That's fine. He still had a spear anyway. In situations like that, it's kind of a gamble whether you want to show, whether you want to actually throw a spear at an enemy that's that far away or not. I can't believe that just happened. Because then, once you throw a spear and it hits the ground, they'll turn around because they got signals from the spear. Didn't mean to do that, it's fine though. So when it comes to white lizards that spawn in this room, of the two that spawn in there, they actually hate being in this room. Not like hate, they dislike it. And so they take the easiest way out of the room, going down. And so sometimes they don't deal with that one. that guy. Right. So now let's not take any random long-range engagements with off-screen enemies that you can't hear whatsoever. So if you guys didn't know, scavengers are completely silent. The only way they make sound is if they have a spear in their hand and are not aiming it. If that makes sense. Because that's when they hit the spear on the ground when they're moving around. And that's the sound that you hear whenever they are moving around. I'm gonna go down this time. One thing about Artie's jump is, well, just explosion in general. You can only do one explosion in the air at a time. And so, if you want to climb up high distances, this is bad. These guys actually showed up. Really, they don't. They might be leaving right now, so we'll let them leave. I'm gonna take this just in case. Man just got stabbed. Ooh, I was not able to do the other explosion, and it flipped me backwards, which I did not expect. I wasn't able to do anything. There was multiple spears next to me, and it didn't let me pick them up or explode. It's a little annoying effect that happens sometimes. I think I might have had my hands full with rocks. I didn't realize. I'm going to try to keep a spear with me the rest of this time. It's doing its best again. He's never going to leave that spot. So generally the whole walk over there isn't too bad. You just gotta move fast through it. But as with any area with scavengers, there's gonna be a lot pretty much anywhere. And they're always gonna be in places you don't expect. Additionally, for people who don't understand scavengers or understand how it works with Artie, we have the absolute maximum negative karma or rep with the scavengers that is possible. And it cannot change from that negative. So it is always the worst imaginable. And that affects the way they behave quite a lot. Every scavenger has their own stats that make up their personality. And this can be things like how well they are at parrying, which means if a spear is anywhere in the air around them, could be thrown by me, could be thrown by another scavenger, even if they don't visibly see it, they can attempt to parry it. This is a weird location. Out of the air. So they're just going to throw a spear directly at it. Essentially. Oh man. I'm surprised it didn't hit the the grapple, or I didn't make it. I think next time I should just kill them. I am trying to go fast. Doesn't affect the overall too much though, because we're not going too far into it. They made it out this time, yes. Okay. So while I'm actually, ooh, have it go this time. While I'm actually remembering, we'll have the rock in our stomach. One other feature about Artie is that if they put anything in their stomach, it'll make it explosive. You can do that with spears, rocks, and batnip to turn it into firecrackers. And that last one usually people don't know about. It's not exactly the most obvious of features. We're just gonna go for kills this time. I mean, that explosion. Interested to see how some of the areas coming up are going to be with the vultures. Man, I really do hate grapples. Please get this out of my hands. Thank you. That could have ended very poorly. I kept trying to throw, but I couldn't do it because I was holding the grapple. We made it. There's also a couple of crafts, I think. I'm not sure what other ones that would be available. Let's take our sweet time there. That orange is in a slightly annoying spot. No weapons, no problem. That guy is just going on forever, huh? Interesting. So when the sign lizards get stabbed, they kind of pop like a balloon and go everywhere. Additionally, when it comes to these centipedes, they can only get aggro if they're around you for long enough. I'm going to die with this thing. Oh, I hate grapples so much. I can't function properly. And it's not easy to let them go. What is this man doing? I think he has him stabbed, but I'm not really sure what's going on. What is going on there? It's really weird. Alright. Running on the spot for a white lizard. I should have just exploded, but it's fine. Berries can actually deflect spears, which can make them interesting. More of just something that you need to be aware of. The white lizard can be in this pipe here, which can be very annoying. Another thing you just need to be aware of. Scavengers falling from above is a threat you need to be worried about in this whole next area. And now that I'm actually holding items, something's going on up there. Standing on these platforms can be scary because they can snipe you while falling down. Thinking about how I want to do this here. This guy can just magically zip around the corpse whenever he wants. Making this a really annoying choke point. Especially when they start to know you're in this room, so the more of them are going to start showing up. Take our sweet time. So for a lot of really good ones, you just want to kind of hope that doesn't happen. I did a diagonal somehow. That's unfortunate. You can explode in any of the cardinal directions. I must have tapped left for just a moment during my explosion. This guy is gatekeeping me. Alright. Falling here can be annoying because you don't want to get stunned on the last bit because creatures can be there. My goodness. Okay. I haven't hit that corner before. That's really unfortunate. We were right next to where we're going to save, too. Alright, I'm just thinking too much about potential places that scav can be, because they can be all in that room, too. It's not the worst. Might have had the jump refunded too, so might have been bad. Hello, Samuel as well. Hello. Hopefully we just don't get a bunch of scavengers in those pipes like we did. That's the main issue. There's an explosive spear there. If you didn't know, every slugcat you play has a chance of spawning with explosive spears. There's also a chance of electric spears that are not charged to show up in a lot of places. For some slugcats, this is either 0 or really low. Usually it's around like 2% for the ones that do have it. Like Survivor can't have random explosive spear spawns, and Rivulet has 0 electric spear of any kind, charged or uncharged. As far as I'm aware. Maybe the elite scavs spawn with the charged ones. I'm unsure. Oh, that's supposed to be because they probably didn't want you to learn about how electric spears work underwater, and that is that they don't. Ooh, I thought he only had 1 spear. And he dodged out of the way of my throw. generally how it goes with scavengers. You gotta make the right decision really quickly. But when it comes to scavenger stats, they can just decide that they win if they really, really want to. As we kind of noticed with that room I was climbing in, if they start to know that you're in that room, and if you're in it for too long, a lot more will just come into that room specifically, as all the scavengers have the ability to come out of very particular pipes that we can't take whatsoever. So it effectively makes them able to travel across the entire region instantly. Alright, maybe we save on the halfway. That might be the way to go. So we don't have to keep taking this gate. We must finish the run. Messing up the slides. The streaming all day is getting to me. Scavengers also like to attempt to kill overseers. I kind of don't want to jump there because he's primed to throw in that direction as it is. Man. Worst situation is to grab him while he's stunned there. And I couldn't do anything about it. Because then I had to bite him. And then he reacts faster than I can even do anything. I should have exploded again. I knew that was going to be a problem the moment I saw him there. And the overseer was making him aim at me. We're going to save at every shelter now. It has to be this way. I'm going to eat the popcorn. I'm actually going to learn fast pole climb now. This way. I find it interesting that the overseer has to like, well, not the overseer, it's so the little ID thing has to unlock it, but you then have to actually stand in it afterwards like a normal shelter. This is also why we have the run at an estimate of an hour, because these things happen. I was hoping this would only happen at the toll at the end, because then we wouldn't have to go through this section multiple times. And I hope there's a spear here. Look at that. It's also annoying when they show up in here, because there's basically always an overseer. Don't want to show myself, because that's just asking for trouble. How did you get in there? Very strange. I want extra food, because we do want to be able to make explosives later, too. Nice. They're very aggressive when you're playing Artie. are more than they'll ever be normally. But generally, you're not going to expect them to be aggressive otherwise. I do like this character, especially because you can actually be able to fight them without any thought of maybe I can be friends with them. The downside being it is very hard to fight them when they are on full hatred of you at all times. One other thing to note is that if cycles go by and the scavenger doesn't die, or if I die to a scavenger, the same exact scavengers are going to be the ones that show up the next time I try to go through the area. So if a run is going bad because of scavengers, it's going to stay bad because of how annoying they can be. Please quit skating. Slopes are scary because your explosion doesn't actually go around them. I probably shouldn't have tried to fight this guy at all. I have no way to get close to him anymore. Oh, man. He instantly popped up out of that pipe the moment he went into it. I was not prepared for that one. I was trying to throw the bomb, too, depending on what he was doing. I'm just making bad decisions. Usually when they go into pipes like that, it'll still take the equivalent time that you would if you took a shortcut from one spot to another. Which is why that was very surprising. Did I eat him? Alright. Spears to scavenger heads will always kill them. Which is good. This campaign is infuriating but also fun to play. Once you get really, really good at it, and you really, really practice with it, it can be okay, but at the same time, when you're dealing with AI, especially AI that mimic the player, they can simply decide no. And that's pretty much it. One thing I do feel like, for a lot of people, is that they just need to... That was weird. I don't know why I went for an explosion. I was thinking he might come closer. Don't know why he wasn't going for me either. Both the centipedes went into the shelter too. Oh man. I couldn't explode again because I was going to get stunned, and that would have been a really bad spot. Be stunned because it might have sent me over the edge. Surprised he didn't get sent off on the first one. We're experiencing everything involved with Artie now. are feeling true pain. It's funny to see white lizards, like, actually move. Because once they actually move, they move really, really fast, to the point where if you're grabbed by a white lizard and you're hoping that maybe they'll let you go, that's really not going to happen. Just because of how fast they will move once they have prey. The game decided it was happy with us now. Apparently. Let's save in this shelter so we can get constant progress. Look at this web of demons. This shelter was actually added in an update, if you didn't know. This shelter was not always here. This is now the closest shelter to the left that's not the one immediately outside the gate. Normally you don't save in here, but we're going to, because we must finish the run. It must happen. So yes, it doesn't rain up here. It does become nighttime, and that makes different spawns show up. Mostly just more mask scavengers. Which mask scavengers will always be far higher stats than normal scavengers, and having the ability to jump. If you notice when we're in intermission, the ambience that we're showing, one of them is in Metropolis, and it'll actually turn to nighttime and then daytime again in the video. That doesn't happen in the game, but the nighttime does.
If you have a quick moment, we do have another donation.
Alright.
This one is from Lena Hime, a $2 donation with no message, but thank you. We're always happy to have more donations go to a good cause.
Yes, thank you. And once again, as the person that is running this event, thank you all for coming in and watching the event, donating, and running in the event. It definitely means a lot that so many of you have been able to show up over this long period of time that we're having this marathon. And we have a full day of runs tomorrow as well. Although tomorrow is technically in just a few hours. That's an interesting spot.
Ooh,
I
nice
thought
save.
that would happen. Okay. Gotta wait to fall a bit farther that time. I think I'm just getting tired. Perfect. There's a king vulture above me. Also, I'm glad to be able to show this in the marathon, even though this is my event and I can kind of do whatever as it is. But even though I am probably not as practiced as I should be, still glad to have one of every Suncat in this event too. Got a lot of submissions from a lot of people, and the fact that we got one from every Suncat except for one, I think it's crazy to me as well. Alright, so we're making it to the shelter that we were always trying to save to. This would be the second one that we would actually want to save at. You technically don't have to save at this one, but if you don't, you're kind of crazy just because of how hard this next section is. Okay, let's make sure I don't fall in the abyss. We might get a dream here. Of all of the runs, Artie is definitely one of them. The elite scavs with electro spears. Artie's tears. I think I still have a bomb in my stomach, which is good. So some can show up in this next room. So if you don't know, this next room, all the walls have been spray painted with anti-stick spears. Anti-spear sticking spray. And so we can't put a spear anywhere in this wall, so we must use the alternate way of every time we slap into the wall, we refund our jump. So then we can get up here. And then I'm going to take out my bomb. And so upcoming here is a row of multiple. That man just parried my bomb. Even the sound I just heard. Amazing. So that is what awaits us, and that's why this area is so hard as it is. If you noticed, one actually came up behind me, and that's because the scavengers can decide that they go into the ground on their side, which is on the right side of that part, and they can show up on the other side of the room. It's kind of the same thing we had a problem with earlier. But they don't go as instantly, but it's still annoying that they even have the possibility to do so. I also heard the sound of one of them hitting the bomb in midair. That's one of their parry skills being good enough to do so. Like this guy. Can't parry if you're too close. Ooh, the other thing Scavenger's gonna do is throw diagonally. He threw it over that guy's body. Ooh, too much. Let's wait till we get this back. Yes, we have to go fast, or otherwise we don't. Have enough time. Ooh, oh goodness. So yes, look. The marathon schedule should show what's gonna be all tomorrow. We're gonna take a break for about 4 hours before the stream will start up. And then there's gonna be a hunter run after that. A guy coming up behind me is the worst thing that can happen here. Oh, I think that actually bounced off the ground and then hit me because it hit perfectly on that corner. Best part about this isn't too bad to restart, even if it is a little annoying. So there's always going to be a bunch just sitting underneath the actual main pole there. But there's also going to be a bunch even further off to the right as well. And so we try to bomb the main toll as best as we can before we do anything else. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Man. One of the bombs in the toll itself that was just sitting there got hit and then it got sent into me, so I got stunned for a really long time. I think that would have been a good one otherwise. Stealth isn't really an option here, and by stealth, it's just how long before they start to see you. That guy really just come through the normal pipe? This is the opportunity. Okay. Surely they don't know. I know they know, but still. This roof's pretty okay, but even if I make it down below, if they start charging me, that's where it then becomes a problem. These guys are pretty active too. If that guy in the middle turns around, I might go. That's fine too. Okay, so now it's just the Scav King. Any scavengers that come in from the left won't attack me unless I start attacking them. Kind of don't want this. That might end up hurting me. Let's just make sure this goes well. For Scav King, it's about taking advantage of the fact that he has no spears to start with. What you doing up there? Okay, this is bad. That's also bad. He just hits me with rocks, though. Okay. The bomb did end up hurting us. Oh, no. It would have been fine otherwise. He only had one armor left. Which at that point, I can just maul him to death by running into him and exploding. As I understand, the maul doesn't do damage as long as you still have armor. I'm trying to throw, but it is impossible. Okay. Interesting. Is the annoying part, the downward explosion. It's also, you have to press grab to do it, which means you'll grab things when you do it. And so if you then try to grab more things, you'll instead just start to maul the creature that you're holding, which is the last thing you actually want to do. It actually makes Artie much harder, just because that's something that happens. You gotta be sure of what you're holding. Although not in every case. Can you actually tell? That guy dodged that spear super well. Maybe I should have just kept running, but having that guy overseeing that whole area wouldn't have been good. He should have threw the spear earlier. Other scavs. That's a little surprising. Very good. That's pretty much the optimal... That is what you would hope would happen, at least. So, with spears being in walls, you can still pick them up, but he can't. It's very useful for you. Main thing, we want to crouch when we first throw, and we hope that the spear doesn't fly off. Ooh. Okay, that almost went bad. He had a chance to kill me there. But we got him, so now it's fine. Oh, alright. That was a lot rougher than I was hoping it would be. But Metropolis was not having it. At least we got Metropolis really well.
Well, GG's on your run.
Alright, thank you. Thank you everyone that watched that, even though it was not good.
It was great up until you got to Metropolis.
Yes.
And then it was not being friendly at all.
I was not doing the combat correctly. But glad to show it off. The Scav King is not that scary. If you don't let him be scary. Because he has no weapons to start with. So you just gotta bully him to make him not go near the spears. Because if you hit him with a spear, he will not grab it up, pick it up. At least not before you. Now we know why no one else wanted to run it. Well, the only other person wasn't practiced either. So although me not being practiced sure didn't help, but... still got you. Alright. Thank you all for watching. I'm done for now. You want to take it away, Evo?
Yeah, sure. It looks like you got through that just barely over the run estimate.
Mm-hmm.
So, pretty much spot on. Very accurate.
Yes.
So I suppose to close this out, thanks for your run iced, and thanks to everyone who's participated today. We are running this as a charity for the Rainforest Trust. The donation link is down below. They work to protect and preserve our tropical rainforests. It's a very good cause. They help with trying to protect endangered species and all of the stuff that goes with that. And we are done for the night. This was our final run. And when I say for the night, I mean we're starting back up in about 5-ish hours. And we will be starting with Era's Hunter. Is it an all objectives run? Or
Yes,
is that something else?
I believe so.
Alright. That starts at, I believe it is 5 a.m. UTC -5, which would be 4 a.m. No, 6 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Pacific.
All right.
So, yeah, I don't think I have much else to say.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys in about 4 hours. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.